Thank you, Bruce. Well, good morning and welcome to Unity of the Valley.
Good morning.
I'm Lynn Beckedahl, and I'll be your service leader this morning. Today, Bruce Minier Bell is back with us to provide our music. Welcome, Bruce. Please lead us in our opening song, We Make Our Own World. Join in. The words are on the slides and in your bulletin, and please stand.
We make our own world wherever we are. Our happiness is of our own making. We make our own world wherever we are. Our happiness then is for the taking. Our world goes with us as we talk and walk along each day. Our world can be a heaven or hell, our attitudes will say. We make our own world wherever we are. Let's make it happy, let's live in beauty. We make our own world wherever we are. Keep thinking happy, we'll make a new Amen. Beautiful. Thanks for singing.
During a minister's sermon, a large plant fell over right behind the podium, crashing to the ground. Acknowledging his reputation for long-windedness, he smiled sheepishly and said, "Well, that's the first time I actually put a plant to sleep." That's in honor of our plant sale today. Again, we'd like to welcome all of you present and everyone watching online and honor those who are new to our service with this special blessing. We offer you peace, love, and friendship. We bless you, and we're glad you're here. This morning, we're happy to welcome back Reverend Phil Smedstead as our speaker. Reverend Phil was ordained at Unity Village in 1976. He founded Unity churches in Hawaii and Texas, then for many years served as one of Unity's transitional ministers and counselors. For 14 years, Reverend Phil was the president of the Theophilus Divinity School in Minneapolis, where he taught spiritual concepts for deep personal transformation. He's the author of the book Real Wealth, Creating the Life You Want from the Inside Out, and he created My Next Step cards, which offer a series of things to think about and do to achieve spiritual transformation. He also created the Prayer of Transformation booklet and the Transformation Group process. His transformational message for us today is titled, Healing Dis-ease from the Inside Out. We look forward to it, Reverend Phil. And now Peggy will ring the Tibetan bells to center us and read the daily word.
We now move deeper into spirit with the reading of the daily word. The word for today, Sunday, September 11th, is remembrance. You live in my heart. Whether they have passed on recently or many years ago, the people for whom I have cared deeply are alive in my heart. If I feel sad or lonely for those I miss, I pause to recall a special memory or something unique about them that made even ordinary days feel magical. Reflecting on the love and joy we shared and the blessings their lives afforded me, I feel comforted. I am thankful that these memories will always be mine to treasure. I know that life does not end with death. Life is eternal, and my loved ones will always be beautiful, beloved expressions of spirit. I am grateful those who have passed from this life experience continue to live in spirit and are forever in my heart. And from Psalms 112:6, for the righteous will never be moved, they will be remembered forever. Now let's bring our attention to the prayer box here. And I invite you to silently add your own name and the names of anyone in your heart or on your mind who may need prayer support. In addition, I think it's a good idea for today, 9/11, for us to remember and bless those who died and those who were affected by the events of 9/11/2001. Plus, let's also remember in our hearts the people of Britain who have lost their beloved queen. And we hold in our hearts all the people of the world, visualizing a pink light of comforting love enfolding the earth. Along with that love light, we visualize the bright white light of spirit dissipating all darkness. We call forth within all people the wisdom and strength, the love and the peace, the wholeness and vitality of the one true presence of God. Excuse me, of a spirit, the source of our being. As we maintain personal peace, compassion, and love in our own consciousness, we help raise the consciousness of the world. We affirm that the requests in our prayer box and in our hearts and on our minds are being resolved in divine timing for the highest good of all concerned. May the love of God enfold us. May the peace of God uphold us. May the wisdom of God inspire us and help us to know in our hearts that all is well. And so it is. Now please join me in our affirmation for the day, which is up here. I now allow myself to have the ease I deserve in every part of my life. And our affirmation for our beautiful spiritual center. We give thanks that Unity of the Valley is a prosperous, thriving, inspired, connected community. We are growing spiritually and manifesting our dreams and goals in an energy of love, peace, and joy. Namaste.
To prepare for the meditation, let's sing together. We are all always whole. Gratitude to Tom Haddocks for creating this song for Unity. Tom from Unity North. It may not be familiar. If not, just listen through the first time and then come in after that. We are all always whole. We are all always whole. In spirit and truth, body and soul, we are all always whole. Yes, come. We are all always whole. We are all always whole. In spirit and truth, body and soul, we are all always whole. We are all always whole. We are all always whole. In spirit and truth, body and soul, we are all always whole.
Good morning, everyone. Let's take time now for a time of meditation. I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Take a moment at this point to just be aware if there's any tension or any fear or any anxiety in your body. And if there is, simply gather it all in your solar plexus. And then take a deep breath and let it go. Feel yourself relaxing. And then relaxing even more. Muscles loosening. Body becoming more relaxed. In the Lord's Prayer, Jesus taught us to say, God, may your will be done in my life. In unity, we know that God is absolute good. God, the universe, our source, only has one will. And it's the same for all of us. Inner peace, happiness, health, ease, and an abundant, fulfilling life. Now I invite you to imagine that you are standing or sitting in the presence of Jesus, your older brother. Jesus asked us to follow him, not to worship him. When I follow Jesus' teachings, he saves me every day from pain and suffering and leads me into a current day experience of heaven, ease, and I love him for that. Some of you may know that I am a Jesus lover. And for a few moments, I'm just going to ask you to join me in that love. I call Jesus my best non-material friend. Jesus tells you now, in this moment, how much he loves you. and you open your heart to receive that love. Feel your heart opening. He says, "You are my beloved sister. You are my beloved brother." He told us in the book of John why he was here. He said, "I have come that you might have life and that you might have it abundantly." Now Jesus asks you, visualize him asking you, what is it you most want in life right now? Is there something in your inner world that you want? If so, what is it? Is there a part of your life where you want more ease or more healing? Is there some way you want more abundance in your outer world? Jesus tells you, I love it when you have the ease and the abundant life you deserve. And I have a message for you today about your desire. Some guidance for how to open yourself to receive it. How to open yourself in your next step. So see yourself listening to this loving voice, which is really your own higher self, the Holy Spirit in you, speaking to you as you open to that message in whatever form it takes for a time in the silence. And now, as you return to the outer world, let yourself feel grateful to the divine presence within you for whatever was shared with you just now, even if it was just a feeling or an image of some kind. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Amen.
Listen to the voice of love. I hope you'll sing along on the chorus. There's not many words to it. I'll sing one and then ask you to join me if you want to. Listen to the voice of love. Listen to the voice of love. That's all I really need to do, is listen to the voice of love. With me, if you will. Listen to the voice of love. Listen to the voice of love. That's all I really need to do, is listen to the voice of love. Thank you. Spirit grants me everything I need today. Love will show me everything I need to do and say. How to work, how to play. Listen every time I pray. I just need to listen to the voice of love. Join me, listen to the voice of love. Listen to the voice of love. That's all I really need to do, is listen to the voice of love. Yes. I've been listening to all my fear and doubt, while forgetting what my life is really all about. Give it up, let it go, let the Spirit help me grow. I just need to listen to the voice of love. With me, listen to the voice of love. Listen to the voice of love. That's all I really need to do, is listen to the voice of love. Nice. Love supplies me with my every need and more. Spirit showing me the way to every open door. Love is here, love is there. Spirit's everywhere. I just need to listen to the voice of love. Last time, listen to the voice of love. Listen to the voice of love. That's all I really need to do, is listen to the voice of love. That's all I really need. That's all I really need to do, is listen to the voice of love. Thank you. Thanks for your beautiful voices. Thank you.
Well, Bruce, as you could tell, that was perfect after that meditation, so thank you very much for that. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you, everybody who's been here to support this Sunday celebration in one way or another through your volunteer efforts. Several years ago, there was a New Thought minister named Reverend Jones, who had a reputation for helping people with healing issues through his powerful affirmations. So one day, Mr. Smith came to see Reverend Jones, and he said, "Reverend Jones, I have a healing challenge I need help with." And Reverend Jones said, "Well, I have an affirmation that's been producing wonderful results. So here, I'm going to tell you what it is. I want you to write it down. And then I want you to do it, use it in a certain way. So here's the affirmation. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better I am." So Mr. Smith wrote down the affirmation. Reverend Jones said, "Now, what I want you to do is I want you to say this affirmation 21 times a day for 21 days. And then come back and see me." So Mr. Smith went home. 21 days later, he came back to see Reverend Jones. Reverend Jones said, "Well, how's it going?" And Mr. Smith said, nothing much has changed." Reverend Jones said, "Oh, I'm really shocked. That affirmation produces wonderful results. I'm just totally surprised if it hasn't done you any good." Did you do the, as I said, 21 times a day for 21 days? Mr. Smith said, I did. I was meticulously on it every day. As a matter of fact, I was so on it that I created a cord and I put 21 knots in the cord so that I could make sure to do it 21 times a day. And I'd say, every day and every way, I'm getting better and better, I am. Not. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better, I am not. The title of my message today, as you already heard, is Healing Dis-ease from the Inside Out. Many of you know that Unity began as a healing movement in 1886. In fact, many of you know the story of Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder, and her healing as the beginning of Unity. Myrtle had received a diagnosis of tuberculosis, or consumption, as it was called in those days, and told that she had at most 6 months to live. Well, Myrtle, along with her husband Charles, had 3 children. And so she was not going to stop with what the doctor said. So she was going to go anywhere, try anything. One thing she and Charles did is they went to a lecture by a Dr. Eugene Weeks, a New Thought lecturer, who said something to Myrtle in that lecture that hit her like a ton of bricks. He said, "You are a child of God. Therefore, you do not inherit sickness." The reason it hit Myrtle so hard was because she had been told her entire life that as a part of the family she was a part of, that her body was prone to illness and that she was probably going to die early. So the idea that she was a child of God and therefore did not inherit sickness was revolutionary to her. And he talked about using affirmative prayer. So Myrtle began to use affirmative prayer and actually went so far as to apologize to the cells of her body for all of the unkind or inaccurate thoughts that she had had about them all these years. And of course, the story goes that she was healed completely. It took about 2 years. It wasn't instantaneous, but she was healed completely, and of course then began to encourage other people to use this same method of affirmative prayer. And other people began to get healed, and of course that's how Unity began. In healing in Unity is based on the principle that we are all whole, no matter what the appearance might be. Because each of us is created as the image and likeness of God. And as we know in Unity, that doesn't mean we look like some being named God out there in the sky. What it means is that we are of the same essence, the same energy as the energy of spirit, which is that we are divine love. We are divine aliveness. We are divine wisdom. We are divine power of creation. Eric Butterworth, one of our most beloved Unity ministers, once said, "We in Unity see Jesus not as the great exception, but rather as the great example. Because he showed us all, the divinity that's within each of us. At our core, all the qualities that Jesus demonstrated in his life are also in us. He was, in fact, what we all are in potential. The difference was that he knew it and experienced it. He experienced oneness with God every day. In Unity, we call that awareness and that experience, not just awareness, but experience, Christ consciousness. And it is actually available to every one of us. Jesus' ministry was filled with stories of healing. He healed blindness, deafness, and muteness. He healed mental illness, leprosy, and rheumatism. He healed paralysis, an issue of blood, and more. Each of these healings that Jesus did also has a metaphysical or inner meaning for us. Metaphysically, the Christ in each one of us, the Christ mind in us today, heals us of mental illness. We might say that mental illness is the belief, one definition of it anyway, is the belief that fear is real and love is not. That's the belief that Yogananda, the Indian mystic, referred to when he said, everyone on earth is crazy. He was talking about that belief. The Christ mind in us heals us of inner blindness. Blindness to our divinity and to our oneness with each other. The Christ mind in us heals us of inner deafness. Deafness to our guidance, which is always there. The Christ mind in us heals us of paralysis so that we don't allow fear to stop us from moving ahead. The Christ mind heals us of inner rheumatism as we release resentment and bitterness through forgiveness. The Christ mind heals us of inner leprosy as we stop feeling numb to our body and to our emotions. When we awaken to our oneness with God, there is no condition too difficult to heal. Does that mean physically? Yes, it can. But all physical healing begins with inner healing. Charles Fillmore, as I said, Myrtle's husband, said, when the mind is healed, the body naturally responds. With that in mind, that we could say that the number one cause of premature death in this country is dying of a broken heart. We call it heart disease. How does the Christ mind heal heart illness? It says, open your heart to love. I have some background with this one. About 40 years ago, in my mid-30s, I was already having chest pains and heart palpitations. And at that same time, I began to work deeply on myself with all this personal transformation that I've been experiencing. And part of that was this 6-month-long program of transformation. And in that program, one of the exercises or tools that we used was something we called breath integration sessions, which was all about healing, about breathing deeply and connectively through our mouth. What that did was allow us to get much more in touch with parts of ourselves that we had all suppressed. And in one of those breath integration sessions, I felt like I was having a heart attack. There was so much pain in my chest. Fortunately, the coach who was working with me had seen this before. And she said, Phil, you're not having a heart attack. It's just that your heart is opening more and more right now. And that's what you're feeling. And it felt so much like the truth to me, and it turned out to be the truth. Because the more I opened my heart, the more love, both for myself and for other people, began to be something other than a good idea, something that was in my head. It began to be an actual experience in my body. We also could say that the number 2 cause of premature death in our country is dying of something eating away at us. We call it cancer. How does the Christ mind heal? It says, resolve inner conflict, the conflict that is within yourself, especially through forgiveness. My wife Laura has some experience with this one. About 14 years ago, 40 years was mine. 14 years ago, we were in Hartford, Connecticut, doing ministry, transitional ministry there. And Laura received a diagnosis of breast cancer. And after the biopsy showed that there were cancerous cells. So a lumpectomy was scheduled. And as soon as Laura got the diagnosis, the first thing she said is, "What am I trying to tell myself?" And what came to her mind right away, something was like just guidance came to her mind, was that she had given up on a dream. And that dream was becoming a professional counselor working with people through psychotherapy. And she had given up on it because she was almost 60 years old. Well, she decided right then it was time to go back to school, back to go get her master's degree. Along with that, she availed herself of Reiki work and whatever healing modalities there were. And when she had the lumpectomy and got the results back, the surgeon called and said, "I don't get to share good news very often." Either, she said, it was a mistaken diagnosis, and she said, "Actually, I know it wasn't a mistaken diagnosis because I looked at those cells and so did one of my colleagues," or "you've had a healing." And of course, my wife Laura went on to get her master's degree, and ever since has been enjoying herself doing something that she loves, which is working with clients in psychotherapy. If I asked you, what is unity's basic principle, you would tell me there is just one presence and one power in the universe, right? God, the good, omnipotent. What that means is that cancer, viruses, AIDS, and all the rest have no power. There isn't God power and cancer power. There isn't God power and virus power. There isn't God power and AIDS power. There is only God power flowing through each one of us. We are all expressions of that one power. An illness, if any of us have an illness right now, it isn't a sentence, it's a wake-up call. I'd like to read something that Dr. Bernie Siegel, who prefers to be called Bernie, says in his wonderful book, Peace, Love, and Healing, which is one of the 2 books I'm going to be using for these 4 classes I'm doing. Here's what he says. When I speak to 500 people with AIDS about the value of their illness, the gift and challenge it represents, and nobody tries to remove me from the stage, I know how courageous they are and how much they have learned about healing. He says, when I talk to survivors of serious illness, I am interested in knowing how they embrace life, not how they avoid death. Those who have learned to take on the challenge of their illness and share responsibility for their treatment have chosen the path that leads to peace of mind and healing on a spiritual level. This profoundly affects their ability to be cured physically, as the energy formerly involved in conflict is set free and the body's immune system receives a dramatic live message, replacing former die messages. If today you have an illness, the question to ask is not, what did I do wrong? And certainly not, why is God punishing me? We know that there is no being named God punishing us. If you have an illness, it doesn't mean you're a bad Unity student. We all have issues to work through and grow through. For some of us, our lack thoughts show up in relationships. For others, our lack thoughts show up in body issues. And for still others, our lack thoughts show up as prosperity issues. As I was getting ready for this message, I was remembering something that happened in my life, Laura's and my life, regarding my own lack thoughts around prosperity. It was, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago or something like that. We had gotten tickets to go to the Ordway Theater in St. Paul to see an opera. I believe the tickets might have been $90 each. And we just decided, we just really want to do this, so we gave it to ourselves. And it was in the middle of winter, a really, really cold evening. And when we got to the Ordway, we could see that there was a parking garage beneath the Ordway, so that we wouldn't have to be outside. But they wanted $10 for parking. I said, I'm not paying $10 for parking. I'm just going to go around the block until I find one on the street and I can park for free. Well, after 3 or 4 trips around the block, Laura turned to me and said, Phil, we just paid $180 for tickets to the Ordway, to the opera. Do you suppose we could just give this to ourselves as well and actually have an easy and warm time of it? I looked at her and I said, you are absolutely, totally right. So whatever dis-ease issues you have been dealing with, either body-wise or otherwise, the questions to ask are, what gifts do I want to receive from this? And what is the message for me in this? Both Eastern medicine and Western chiropractic are based on the principle of the inherent wholeness of the body. Taoism tells us, and I'm so glad we do that, the bells here, because I really like bringing in other aspects of spirituality. Taoism says the only problem our bodies have is that the energy or the chi can be blocked. Unity says, regarding healing, go first to God and then go wherever God directs. Jesus in Matthew 9 said, your faith has made you whole. Eric Butterworth, in his wonderful book, Discover the Power Within You, says, faith is the perception by which we can see wholeness where there appears to be sickness. It is the conviction that where lack appears, there is plenty. That where pain appears, there is surcease. And that in chaos, there is harmony. He continues, in sickness, there is wholeness as the deepest truth of our being. In Matthew 12, Jesus heals a man with a withered hand and then says to the man, stretch forth your hand. Here's Eric Butterworth again. He said, I'm so glad that this was included in Jesus' gospel of healing. It implies that there is always something for us to do. Again, the formula is ask for guidance and then do whatever Spirit directs you to do. Eric says further, you must expect to be guided because we always are. And he said, you must be willing to move your feet. Some of you may have heard me say this before. I don't even know who said this, but it's one of my favorite quotes. God can't drive a parked car. I love that. No matter what issues we each have to grow through, no matter what our body will someday die from, the eternal truth is we are always whole and can't be harmed. So along with following your guidance, the how-tos today are these. First, accept your eternal wholeness, no matter what the appearance might be. Second, commit to resolving inner conflict, especially through forgiveness, by making it a daily practice. Bernie also says, as a cancer doctor, the most important job facing my patients is uncovering inner conflict. And I can't emphasize that word uncovering enough because most of us have buried those conflicts. Most important job facing my patients is uncovering inner conflicts. When they do, he says, energy formerly tied up in contradiction becomes available for healing. And die messages become live messages. And the final how-to is commit to being fully alive every day. Bernie says, don't try to not die. Instead, do your best to live fully until you do. Bernie defines the healing of dis-ease as finding true inner peace and living fully until our bodies die. That means, he says, that healing is always possible. So, I invite you to let this week be all about healing any dis-ease that you've been experiencing and being committed to living fully every single day. Ask yourself, maybe do this right now, what would living fully mean to me for today? What would living fully today mean to me? And then give that to yourself, not just today, but every day. Namaste.
I have a song from Van Morrison. No, not that one. And not that one either, probably. I like the song because I think it's about waking up and paying attention and expecting the good. It's called Brand New Day. When all the dark clouds roll away and the sun begins to shine, I see my freedom across the way, and it comes right in on time. Well, it shines so bright and it gives so much light, and it comes from the sky above. Makes me feel so free, makes me feel like me, and it lights my life with love. And it seems like, oh yes, it feels like, seems like, yes, it feels like a brand new day. It's a brand new day, yeah. I was lost, double-crossed, with my hands behind my back. Had a long time hurt, thrown in the dirt, shoved out on the railroad track. Well, I've been used, abused, so confused, and I didn't have nowhere to run. Till I stood and looked, and my eyes got hooked on that beautiful morning sun. It seems like, oh yes, it feels like, seems like, yes, it feels like a brand new day. It's a brand new day, yeah. Now the sun shines down upon the ground, and the grass is oh so green, and my heart is still, and I've got the will, and I don't really feel so mean. Here it comes, here it comes. Here it comes right now, and it comes right in on time, and it eases me, and it pleases me, and it satisfies my mind. It seems like, oh yes, it feels like, well, it seems like, yes, it feels like brand new day. today. Thanks a lot for listening. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Bruce. It's always an honor to hear your music. I've known Bruce and listened to his music for over 30 years now, so thank you. He led a children's choir at Unity in Golden Valley. My middle son was in it, Brett. And Reverend Phil, I want to thank you for that wonderful message and reminder of the truth we know. I'm going to share just a moment here of experience I had. I had COVID over Mother's Day weekend. And as I was thrashing about in my bed, and I reached out to many, many people, many of you that are here today, for prayers. And I was locked in the dis-ease of the virus. And finally it occurred to me one morning, I need to open up to receive these prayers. And as I had that thought, I felt this flood of light just in and through my body. And that was then the turning point for me. So it is really a job from the inside out to heal. So again, thank you, Reverend Phil. So it's now time in our service for our love offering. This commitment in giving is a part of our community's spiritual practice to develop and demonstrate greater trust in God as the ultimate source of all good. We now have the opportunity to give our love offering from our hearts, knowing that as we give, so we receive, and knowing also that we are providing important support to the life and mission of our spiritual community. Let's read together our love offering affirmation and then join Bruce in our love offering song. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. God is the source.
God is the source. God is the source. Each of us channels, guiding the good, flowing divine. One endless source, infinite blessings. Praise the Creator, thy will is mine. God is the source, infinite blessings, infinite blessings. I got myself one endless source, infinite blessings. Praise the Creator, thy will is mine.
Please join me in blessing this offering, any contributions that have come in electronically, and good of any kind so generously given to Unity of the Valley this week. Together, we affirm that God is our source and we are the channels. We bless these gifts given in love that serve our spiritual family and flow out into our community and beyond. We are prosperous and blessed with abundant good. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Announcements. We will be announcing upcoming events very briefly from now on. You'll find details in the bulletin, the weekly buzz, and on our website. If you don't get the buzz, you may sign up in the table in the front by the front window in the lobby, or you can sign up online. Feel free to take the inside of your bulletin home as a reminder. Okay, please remember we have a beautiful meditation with prayer chaplain every Tuesday from 11 to 11:30 live on our Facebook page. The used book sale with a few new books has been extended through September 25th. You may make a donation of any amount to Unity of the Valley. We have plenty of books, so we don't need any more used books, so you may hold off on that till another time. We'd also like to thank Sarah Griffith who spearheaded our school supplies outreach program. We raised $150 and collected many supplies for Glendale School. The staff expressed their sincere gratitude. Also, Sarah has set up a table by the welcome table for the Ronald McDonald, our next outreach program. So check it out. There will be a Unity community meeting today at 11:30 to discuss sharing a minister with another Unity center. The board would like your input. Our perennial plant sale is this weekend and next, the 17th and the 18th, so you may donate and or buy plants to help with the sale, another fundraiser for our community. Uplift Your Prosperity, a 3-session class began Thursday, September 8th, and continues on the 15th and the 22nd from 7 to 8:30 p.m. $17 per session, which includes the book and handouts. The Singing Bowl Sound Bath with Nada Hogan will be Saturday, September 17th from 7 to 8 p.m. Please sign up online. It's $25 and well worth it. I'm really sorry to be missing that. I'll be on the road. Our traditional healing service will be Sunday, September 25th at 10 a.m. You may receive energetic hands-on healing and enjoy the chant ministry duo, a favorite of our center. Good to have them back. And Reverend Phil, would you like to come and talk about your class?
Yeah, let me just add a few words about my upcoming series of classes on spiritual healing. As I mentioned in the announcements or things that you've probably read, these classes are based on these two books by Dr. Bernie Siegel, Peace, Love, and Healing, and Love, Medicine, and Miracles. You don't need to have them in order to take the class, but if you buy them, which I'm sure you can get used these days on Amazon, you won't regret buying them. They are the two best books I have ever seen on spiritual healing. And this is all about healing lifestyle, and it's a transformational class. So please join us if you want to go deeper. This is not just positive thinking. This is going to go deeper than that. So please join us if you can. This is just wanted to give you a personal invitation from me. Thanks.
And just a few facts about that. It'll start Sunday, the September 25th, after the healing service and potluck, and it's $15 a session or $50 if you prepay online. Confidential prayer support will be provided by prayer chaplain Pat Gernon after the service over by the side door. So do we have any children? It looks like we do. Let's welcome them in with "We Are Walking in the Light."
Want to say hi to everyone? They're over there. No? Okay. You don't have to. You don't have to. Hi, everyone. Hi. So Celine and we had to get outside. It is beautiful out there. So I hope everybody has an opportunity to get outside and breathe in that fresh, beautiful air. We went outside and we talked about using creativity and imagination as our powers to serve people and serve our communities. So we were out there with some blocks and Play-Doh and different types of creative toys and used those to pretend we were making meals for people that were hungry. We were bringing toys to kids in need and clothes to people in need. So it was a lot of make-believe and enjoying the great outdoors and kind of practicing, if you will, different ways to use creativity to be of service. Thank you.
All right, if you could please stand for our prayer for protection and closing song. Together, the light of God surrounds us, we are that light. The love of God enfolds us, we are that love. The power of God protects us, we are that power. The presence of God watches over us, we are that power. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Okay, remember to begin your healing within and shine your light without. Bruce, please lead us in our closing song.
I'm going to take all that great wisdom from Reverend Phil that we've gotten in the service and sing it into action. I am free. I am unlimited. I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free. I am unlimited. Right now, right now. I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free. I am unlimited. Right now, right now, I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now, I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now, I am free. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now, I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now.
Coffee and cookies, and then whoever would like, please come back in for our community meeting. We need your input.